Hello and welcome to another great episode of F.Y.I. Live. I'm here with a very, very special guest, Ms. Kelli Holmes from CEO and founder of Team Referral Network. How you doing, Kelli?
I'm doing great, Carlos. You got to love technology, right? I mean, I managed to get us kicked off of all the major platforms because I was late, right?
Hey, no worries. We had a couple of technical difficulties, but like everything else, right? We just got to roll with it, and here we are. So that's what's more important.
It's the way it is.
I appreciate you. Exactly. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us today. I think that folks here are going to find a lot of the information we're going to talk about very valuable. But most importantly, I want to start by talking about Kelli. Tell us how you got started with Team and tell us a little bit about your background in the networking aspect and in the business aspect.
That's a great question. You know, I love talking a little bit about how I got started because first of all, it goes back well over 30 plus years at this point in time. My husband and I started a painting contracting business when we were young and dumb. I mean, really young and really dumb. And our first marketing strategy was to drive around and drop off handwritten with a felt pen flyers that we had copied at Thrifty's little copier machine. Remember, you could go, I'm really aging myself. Really aging myself here.
I remember that.
So we, did 25 copies and we drove around the neighborhood and we were putting flyers inside people's mailboxes. Remember, I said young and dumb. Got 2 phone calls that day. One was a woman and her husband who wanted to hire us to come out or have us come out and give a painting quote to them. And they eventually hired us and became great clients. The other was such a gift. It was from a woman who read us the Riot Act, explaining that it is highly illegal for us as just citizens to open her mailbox, reach in and put flyers in there. So I always look at our early marketing strategy as being such a gift, because we got the Wendells as a client that day and we learned the value of referrals from the Wendells because they referred us their son and they referred us their neighbor and they referred us their friends. And when we got invited to our very first networking group and they said, hey, it's about growing your business by referrals, I was like, yes, this is something we can do. And it was an amazing experience. And so we got to learn very early on at a very young age how important it was to build relationships and grow your business by referrals.
That's awesome. And I appreciate you sharing that because a lot of us have some funny stories, the young and dumb things to try out when we were trying to get our businesses off the ground. Right? Yes. Everybody thinks that we get to this level by skipping all these extra layers. And no, we all start from the same path, from the ground up, right? So
Exactly.
Yeah. So I know that you've been very busy over the years. Obviously, 30 plus years you've been doing the networking events, different things that come up. Part of what I wanted to talk to you about today and maybe share some information with folks is I call the show today Networking 101. And I know you've been a speaker everywhere, nationally, internationally. You have team chapters all over the world. But for those folks that are just right now with COVID hitting and all of that, there's a lot of folks that are kind of changing what they're doing. A lot of them have been laid off, so they have to be creative on maybe possibly starting that sewing business or whatever it is that they want to get off the ground. So maybe you can share with us in the audience a little bit about some networking 101 of things that we should look at to kind of get in that right path.
Yes, absolutely. Happy to do so. Much has changed in the last 18 years since I started in Team Referral Network, but I'll also say much has stayed the same. I think the important element about doing business, whether you're in today's environment with a COVID restrictions on potentially many of your listeners' businesses right now, certainly many of our members, if you really look at the strategy of networking and relationship marketing, not a whole lot has changed. You've got to show up, okay? So we have a lot of people right now are struggling even with just that initial element of showing up. So whether you're brand new, taking that side hustle that you've had for all of these years, and because you got laid off of your job, you're turning it into a business, okay? Whether it's your passion that you've just had on the side and now you have more time to be able to focus on it and grow it, whether it's brand new or whether you've been in business for a while and you're affected by the current environment, The thing that hasn't changed, and I want to reassure your listeners, is the fact that if you invest the time, energy, and effort into building the right relationships, you can still grow your business no matter what the environment is. When I talk about my husband's company, he's an absolute barometer for the economy because we've been around. We started in 1984, okay, with his company, and he's been through 3 major recessions and now COVID-19. He is busier today than he has ever been in the entire 34 years, and he's only doing exterior work right now. So literally 50% of his business, he's not even performing right now, and he's busier than he has ever been. And it's because he's invested all of this time, energy, and effort over the years into the relationships, whether it end up being relationships with his large base clientele now at this point, or the relationship with his vendors, or the relationship with what we call a team referral network, his power partners. That investment in those relationships continues to pay off year after year after year after year, economy after economy after economy. So I think what I want to share with people is start seeking out your networking partners. It's not too late, okay? In fact, you can need to start now. There's no time like the present. Get to these networking events. Chambers of Commerce are putting on Zoom events. Team Referral Network is putting on Zoom meetings. We have other organizations out there that directly relate to your business that could be helpful that are doing meetings, but you've got to show up. You've got to get out there and start networking. And one of the things I want to share with people that I see all the time, okay, is that people meet each other at a networking event, and nowadays they're being held online here, of course, via Zoom for the most part, and they're still doing some of the same bad habits that they've done all along, and that is they start pitching their business the moment they meet you. Of course, you've had that happen to you, right, Carlos? Okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I always talk about it. It's like they're trying to get married on the first date, okay? And they need to pull it back. Let's start with building a little rapport, right? Rapport goes a long way for a second date or a second opportunity to get together to learn more about each other's businesses. And so in today's environment, you don't want to start pitching your business. You need my company. I can help you during this time. You should do this. The should haves, they're going to drive people crazy. Okay. So start with wanting to build a little bit of rapport in these networking events that you can attend. Find out about people, ask questions, ask to be able to get permission to follow up with them. Do what we call in Team Referral Network a coaching session with them, where you can kind of get one-on-one time together via Zoom, again, in a very safe environment, and be able to learn more about each other's businesses and how you could potentially work together, collaborate, refer each other business, do business together, whatever could possibly come out of that scenario. But you got to show up. So I think people need to put a little bit of time into looking at some of the events that are available out there. We have very active local chambers of commerce. Team Referral Network is more active than it's ever been. I had the question asked of me today, by a marketer, okay, has COVID hurt or helped my business? And I thought, gosh, that's a great way to look at this. Yeah. And my answer was both. Okay, it's both. We were 98% in-person meetings on Friday, March 13th. Fast forward to Friday, March 20th, 1 week later, we were 100% online as an organization. Lucky for us, we started our first virtual chapters 6 years ago. They met only virtually on a Google Hangout, and only 10 people could participate, if you remember Carlos technology from back then.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And they were awesome, but we were just a little ahead of our time. And I joke now, it only took 6 years and a little global pandemic for people to realize that you can totally build a business through networking and relationship marketing virtually. And so that's what we've done. But it's hurt us with getting new members. New members are hesitant to join an online organization when they're used to in-person networking. Now, our virtual chapters that have always been virtual, that are still meeting virtual, that will still be virtual after all of this is done and over with, they're booming right now. But what I have found with my business, and I don't know if it's true for your business, but I want to ask you that, Carlos, our retention is phenomenal. Our members are staying put And it's because they know investing their time, talent, information, and money into the right strategies can totally help them through this time and actually build and grow their business.
Yeah, and actually, that's actually leads me to another question for you as well too. And this is obviously something that you're a professional at, but I know that there's folks when we get out there and network, right? In the beginning of when we're getting our business, trying to get it off the ground, you're absolutely right. I can't tell you how many people before I even opened my mouth that were like 5-10 minutes into what they do and all of that, and by the time I got around to it, it's like, okay, gotta go, right? That kind of deal.
Yes.
So the other thing that's also very important is when you talked about networking with folks in the different chambers and all that, I've always heard you talk about being very strategic in your networking, in your relationships. One of these key things I remember specifically that actually really helped me out is to really focus on who those power partners are in your industry. So if you can talk a little bit about that and being a little bit more strategic on the networking piece as well.
Absolutely. You know, I get asked all the time, what's the secret to being successful utilizing Team Referral Network as a system to build and grow my business? And the strategy really doesn't matter whether you're in Team Referral Network or not. Okay. Of course, we want to have you be part of Team, visit a team, learn more about Team, but you don't need Team to do this. This is the power partner concept. Okay. And a power partner is someone who has a business that in some way, shape, or form is related enough to your business that you actually share the same type of client. Very easy example to show is the real estate agent and the mortgage lender, okay? The client is going to go to the mortgage lender, get pre-qualified to know how much they can spend on a home. The mortgage lender is going to work through their loan information and then say, hey, you need to work with the real estate agent here. And the real estate agent is going to sell them the home of their dreams that they can afford. And then the insurance person gets brought into it to do the property and casualty insurance. And the escrow company gets brought in to manage the escrow. And the home inspector gets brought in to do the home inspecting. And so you have these power partners that actually end up forming power teams. So you as a business person's strategy, number one strategy when wanting to build and grow by referrals is connecting to the right power partners who share your clients. You're not competitors, but you are collaborators. You are power partners. Build those relationships. It's the 80-20 rule. 80% of your time, effort, and energy in building a relationship should be with your power partners. That's where you're going to get the best and most referral opportunity. Don't forget, you got to give as well. So be sure you are doing this as a reciprocal, mutually beneficial relationship. I keep referring back to my husband, but because I know his business so well, it's a great example for me. Mike, years ago, when we first started doing this whole thing of networking to build his business, before I got into this business, he ended up having a total of 8 on his power team, himself included. It was him as a painter, and it was a small general contractor, and it was a roofer and a plumber and a landscaping company and a window tinting company, an interior designer, and a real estate agent. There was 8 of them. And they were all people of integrity, which is really an important part of this, is being people of integrity. And they all agreed that they would help build and grow each other's businesses through referrals whenever they could. Okay. Fast forward, okay, to all of these years later, because we're talking 1990 at this point, maybe even 88. Boy, I really am aging myself here. Out of those original 8, 5 of them are still in business today. And when you think about the years of 2008 through 2012 and the home remodeling industry, it's a miracle that 5 out of those 8 are still in business today, let alone their age as these guys are getting older, okay? But to this day, they still refer business to each other, and they have referred millions of dollars worth of business to each other over the years. And so the secret to this being this type of business building, referral marketing, relationship marketing, networking, whatever you want to call it, the true secret into success is the power partner relationships. And in Team Referral Network, our chapters are made up of teams of power teams. You know, you got the financial power team and the real estate power team and the business services power team and the event power team and the home services. And, you know, you can keep going on and on and on. But that's how you build a team. That's how you end up having what I call an endless source of referrals. And so today, when I tell you Mike is busier in his 34th year or whatever it's been, when I tell you he's busier now than he has ever been in his life, it is because of his power early on, the power partner and power team relationships.
That's awesome. And, you know, I'm going to say that also what I've also found in networking opportunities is over the years, you know, in my industry of technology, you know, we have a lot of techs, just like in any other industry. You have bankers, you have biz, mortgage, you know, people with insurance and so forth. But what I've also found very interesting is that people don't look at, if I'm in the tech industry, they look at each other like full-on competitors. Like, oh, I'm not going to share anything with you. I'm going to just keep this to myself. One of the things that I also found, not only through talking to you and also through team as well too, is that no matter what, if you're in the same industry, there's always opportunities to collaborate, right? Those that are really smart business people will always look at you as another possibility or potential opportunity to collaborate in bigger and different projects, as opposed to just, let me just hoard on to all of this together, you know? And I've seen that quite a bit in the team, in some of the team meetings and some of the team networking events, that it doesn't really matter what industry you're in. It's like, let's find a way to work together so we can build this power partnership, because at the end of the day, I'll give you an example. So because we are a one-stop shop company, there's times where I may need some help in a bigger project through IT. So am I going to keep that other person? No. But I think also what's also important for me, and I know that it is in a lot of our events and our groups and people that we meet for power partners, is that we also are, I tend to be a little bit careful too as who you meet, because at the end of the day, they're an extension of you. So if Kelly's giving me a referral and I happen to be a knucklehead, right, they're not going to come back after Kelly and say, you know, I mean, they're not going to come back after me. They're going to come back after you saying,
me,
why'd you refer this guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah, what were you thinking?
Exactly. So it's one of those things that I also think over the years, you've seen a lot of this folks that not everybody's a perfect fit with one another. So maybe, I don't know if maybe some tips that you can help some of our viewers talk about, or how to look for certain things for a potential power partner or a collaborator for that matter.
So really, I do a whole presentation on competitors can be collaborators, okay? Because it's absolutely true. We have going back to my husband's business again, there's a fellow painting contractor. He's part of Team Referral Network. We've referred him, I don't know how much business over the years. When Mike was too busy, couldn't get to it, it wasn't quite his cup of tea, whatever it would be. You know, Michael used to always tell everybody, the reason I have my house is because of Holmes Painting. You know, their business that they referred me, and we're direct competitors in the exact same market. And that's why I do want your audience to open up and expand in their mind that competitors can be great collaborators, and it can be very much a collaborative partnership. Listen, we all have niches or niches, depending on whether you're from Europe or the United States, okay?
Right.
And so we all have this like little area of specialty that we really thrive in, okay? And when you have something that's out of your lane, you know, you aren't doing your client, your potential client or your client, the right service if you're going to try to make it work with you and you not being able to optimally do it. When you can refer it to somebody who's an expert, even if they bleed over into your business, they're going to respect you for that, and they're going to stay your client because you went out of the way to do that, okay? And I think that it's important to understand that when you are able to refer somebody who might be a competitor for you, but it's in the best interest of the client, that you actually expand your universe and your opportunity. And that person becomes open to referring you the right kind of business, and they share it with somebody else, and they do. It really can, I mean, like, I don't want to sound Pollyanna-ish here, but it really can make the world a better place if we are to expand and think in terms of abundance mentality than wanting to keep everything for ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Kelly, I know we're coming close to the end of the show, but I want you to talk a little bit about also how do folks get involved? How do they learn a little bit more about team and some of the opportunities available?
Yeah. Visiting a chapter has never been easier. I love the fact that, you know, I've literally been Zooming all around the country. We know I travel all over, you know, when there aren't restrictions on traveling. I get to speak to the most awesome audiences about networking and relationship marketing and referrals and collaboration. And, you know, I'm missing doing that. But I must say it's pretty nice to be able to work from my home office, okay, and actually be able to go to Texas. Tomorrow morning, I'm in St. Louis, Missouri. I was just in New York, okay? It's amazing. So for our audience and your listeners, we have never been easier to visit. So I want to encourage you to go to teamreferralnetwork.com, look at chapters in your area or completely outside of your area. If you've wanted to do business in Canada or Australia or Southeast Asia or Egypt or India or New Zealand, I'm trying to think of some of our new virtual chapters where they're meeting. We have chapters for you there. If you just want to stay and do business in the domestic US, we have chapters for you to visit. If you just want to do business in the San Gabriel Valley or the Inland Empire or Orange County, we have chapters for you to visit. So go to the website, check us out, let us know. It's very easy. You just click on the information to get an email to the president or the local director, or you can call here at the office or email us, and we'll get you the Zoom credentials so you can go and visit, say hi, introduce your business, tell people who you are, what you do, and what you need next to grow your business, and we're here to help you.
Awesome. Folks, I appreciate you guys tuning in today at F.Y.I. Live. We've had our very special guest, Kelli Holmes, founder, CEO of Team Referral Network. She's given us a lot of great tips, information. Make sure that you follow her. She's on social media everywhere, right? She's also, you can find her at Team Referral Network. Make sure that you also check out some of the chapters because, like she said, you can't make it any easier. I mean, you have no excuse not to. Get to a chapter, check it out, find the right opportunity. Kelli, I want you to leave folks with the tagline for Team, please, because I think that is powerful.
Okay, we got two, but I think I know which one you're talking about. You're talking about the original one, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So at Team, we say, don't hire a sales team, join one.
Absolutely, folks. And that's Kelli Holmes, founder and CEO of Team Referral Network. Stick around, Kelli. Thanks so much, guys, for watching us. And watch us again because we are going to be probably putting on some different little workshops as well with Kelli. So stay tuned.
Great.